Greetings, soul family. It is with gratitude that I welcome you to Spirit Knocks for Brooklyn Mosaic. In the past few videos, we've been talking about chakras and seeing colors during meditation, as well as grounding. I'm at the point now where I have to talk to y'all about another level of things that has unfolded for me. When I'm doing my grounding, I often will take the time to look at the sun, right? And I usually do it in the evenings, and it's around the time when the sun is going down, and I'm able to see different colors in the skyline when I do that. And so initially I just thought, well, maybe I'm just seeing it because of, the way my particular vision is, or my perception of things. But then I would ask people that were with me, and they did not see what I saw. So I just, I kept my walks up. I realized maybe this is part of, my abilities unfolding. So I started to get messages that I needed to go out earlier in the morning. And I should have known because birds would come to my window the same time every morning where I'm sleeping. Now, I switched rooms. So I'm like, how do they know what room I'm in, right? Spirit knows. So the birds come to the window, they're tapping on the window, and I usually will wake up, get up and close the window and go back to sleep. So now I realize that was my alarm clock because I don't use alarms. I get up naturally. So I started to get up, and I've just been going right outside. And when I go out, there's all these butterflies around me. On my walk down to the beach, there's birds flying all around me. It's deep. So I get down to the beach now early in the morning, like before the sun comes up. And I'm there watching the sun come up as I'm doing my grounding. And what I'm seeing is increasing. It's more colors. It's actually like molecular sort of dots. And I have to kind of blink to see it. It's so deep, y'all. I'm telling you. So now, like I've been doing this for about a week now, I'm noticing that I'm starting to see auras around trees, right? A light green, sort of lime colored aura around the trees. First it was orbs. Now I'm actually seeing aura around the trees. I'm also seeing an aura around birds. When the birds are flying, I can see a green sort of light around the bird. Now, as I'm doing my study, we know that auras are energetic fields, right? That we all have, but some of us are just not able to see them. But they do have cameras and all sorts of things that can see them. So for me, I am able to see this only around birds and trees, right? Thus far. I also see it on the water sometime. And when I'm walking on the beach, I see purple footprints. Like not actual footprints, but like places where feet would be on the sand, always in front of me, next to me. I've seen it when I go to put my hand on the doorknob to go outside. And it's usually when I come from, taking in the sun. So I believe the sun is a great part of rejuvenating me, which we know we are sun people. So it's just been deep, y'all. I can't even begin to tell you this experience. I can only explain because I know someone's going to come across this and have this experience and wonder what it is. So as I continue to study, I continue to see more colors. Like I see pink across the skyline. I see lavender. When I look at people, though, I don't see anything. However, when I've been around people with ill intentions, when I look into their eyes, all I see is black. And I've always been able to do that. I look into people's eyes and I see black. I'm literally like dark black. And no one's whole eye is black. Your pupil is black and your eyes might be very brown. But I literally see black, like evil, like something else is inside of them. And the 2 times that I've seen that have been with people that had ill intentions toward me. One was attempting to rob me, and the other person was just in such a rage about my presence and not supporting them. And I didn't know these people, they were strangers. So I believe that kind of energy can kind of be drawn to you to deter you or to distract you or take you off course or to get a reaction out of you that would be low vibration. So I wanted to share that piece about the colors. I haven't talked about it because I've still been trying to figure it out, but you all are the first to hear about it today. That the newest thing that I'm working on is the ability to see auras. I believe that this is what this means. It may mean something else, and if it does, you all will be the first to know. But the colors were coming to me in my meditations, and I related that to the chakras. But now the colors are coming to me outside of my meditations with my eyes open. And we're going to talk more about the color of auras and what they mean, because that's the next stage of my studies. So I will be sharing that with you all as I catch on. Also, just wanted to state, because I believe, I'm not sure if we talked about orbs yet. I know I talked about quite a few things, but this all started with orbs, right? And when I say orbs, I'm saying ORBS. I was seeing these little black dots in my peripheral vision. And I think I mentioned, like, you know, I went to the doctor for it. At that time, it was just like one little spot, and they kept telling me they couldn't find anything. And I went to tell a friend of mine, you know, do you see like black dots in your peripheral vision? That's your vision outside of your direct line of vision, right? And she said, yeah. And I went to the doctor for it, and they used all these machines, and they couldn't find what I was talking about. So we tend to think it has something to do with our vision, right? I was diagnosed or prescribed as being nearsighted and having astigmatism. But I now realize that that diagnosis is probably part of why I am able to see what I see, part of my abilities. Because if you look up spiritual meanings behind vision problems and ailments in the body and dis-ease, it explains a lot of things, right? So being nearsighted or having astigmatism is kind of like the way that your pupil takes in light, and it means that the I guess the length of where that light is hitting is extended, and that's why you see things the way you do. I don't think that that's unintentional, right? I think it's very intentional for me to be able to have the vision that I'm having. And so I find myself going into very deep lines of thought and pulling information like I'm tapping into something. So I'm here to share it and hope that we all can learn from it. And please feel free, if you're seeing colors and you know what I'm talking about, put it in the chat. Let's talk about it. Let's exchange information. I am in no way an authority on this. I am just sharing what I am experiencing so that you all can know you're not alone, and that we're on this journey together, because we all have these abilities, right? You all hear me say this all the time, and you probably heard so many others say it. We all have these abilities. We're just not tapped in. So while I experience these things, I will be sharing them. So remember, it started with me seeing these little black specks, right? Then it went to like bubbles, like little molecules, little tiny bubbles. Then I was seeing something like evaporated, like if you can imagine water evaporated and spread through the air. I was seeing that, and I would see it in like black. I'd see it as like a scribbly line. I'd see it as like red spots. Then those red spots started to look like figures or like heads or people coming at me like dots, right? Like a stick figure drawing. And then that red started turning into many molecules like all around me. I'd turn in a circle and I could see the dots all around me, and I just was like, whoa, this is deep. So now I'm starting to look into not only the color of auras, but molecular symbols and what they mean, because I feel like that's what I'm seeing. That's what it reminds me of if I had to relate it to something. So it started with something so simple, and now that, you know, as we know, all beautiful things come from blackness. So from those black dots, I started to see little shapes, like little squiggly lines, like almost like a hair, natural curly hair. You know how our hair is. It reminded me of that in my vision. Then it started to take on more of a shape. Then it started to show with colors. And so it's been a gradual process, but it hasn't been long. This has been maybe within, I want to say, since my meditation started to get more intense and I had some breakthroughs with my meditation, that these other things started to unfold. So I hope this is helpful for you all. I look forward to hearing from you. Don't forget, Spirit knocked for Brooklyn Mosaic. See you in the next video. Blessings.